why you decided to make Joe the backup and not Shedeur.
Yeah, Joe's the backup.
Was there, along with changing to Dylan, was there any conversation at all about moving Shedeur up to number 2 and making him?
My focus is on this game. Joe's the backup.
Listen, I don't understand why you can't push Shedeur as your QB2. That's me personally. I don't get that part. And here's the reason I'm saying that. Flacco knows Father Time has caught up to him, that he's not what he used to be. Yep. He's happy to be on an NFL roster to contribute in any way that he possibly can. He knows that he's a stopgap for the young guns coming up the rear. He knows that. So there's nothing wrong with putting him at the QB3 spot.
When Shedeur does anything, it's always critique. What I don't like is you may not be able to relate to what he's doing or how he's doing it, but you can't control and make it be what you want it to be, because it's not that.
The talk about Shedeur Sanders has taken another explosive twist, and this time the spotlight is on Cleveland Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski. In a recent press conference, Stefanski dropped a shocking statement that rocked the sports world. He claimed Shedeur Sanders isn't even being considered as the backup quarterback behind Dylan Gabriel. Instead, it's Joe Flacco who got swapped out for Gabriel, sparking serious outrage and debate among analysts and fans everywhere. Why would Stefanski stick with Flacco, a quarterback who has been struggling for years, instead of giving the spot to the young and gifted Shedeur Sanders? This move has people questioning if there's more going on behind the scenes. Could Stefanski actually be trying to keep Shedeur Sanders out of the QB2 role on purpose? With all the hype surrounding Sanders' potential, this decision has analysts completely baffled. Even Cam Newton didn't hold back when blasting Stefanski's statement about handing the backup quarterback job to Joe Flacco. He came out swinging at the Browns head coach, insisting that Shedeur Sanders is being treated unfairly. Newton, who understands the brutal grind of being an NFL quarterback, made it clear that it's absolutely right to question the way Sanders is being handled. According to Newton, what's happening here is completely unprecedented. Shedeur Sanders, a 5th-round pick and 3rd-string quarterback, has gained a wave of fan support rarely seen for anyone in his position. Newton even stressed that Sanders is the first quarterback in NFL history to get this kind of overwhelming love from fans despite being a rookie in such a low-profile role.
A person, not be a starter, not be 2nd string, 3rd string,
3rd string QB,
a 5th-round pick, have this much.
Stephen A. Smith jumped into the debate as well, raising a crucial question. Is Shedeur Sanders' spot on the depth chart really as meaningless as some want us to believe? He completely disagreed, saying it matters a lot, especially when you factor in the politics at play. Stephen A. argued that Sanders slipped all the way to the 144th pick in the draft not because of a lack of skill, but because of how people view his father's influence in the league. With that in mind, Stephen A. stressed that we must look closely at where Sanders sits on the depth chart. He suggested the Browns are working hard to control the narrative about Sanders, shaping how he's seen by the media, the fans, and even other teams. This isn't just a routine decision about backups. It's a power play. And Stephen A. warned it's one we cannot afford to brush aside.
In Shedeur Sanders' case, 144th overall, it mattered.
Yep.
You know that, Peter. You know that, Swag. It matters because it was Shedeur Sanders, and we got the impression that it wasn't just football, it was something about his dad. So what I'm saying to you is that we're beyond all of that now to some degree, and we get that part, but that doesn't mean the residue doesn't still exist in terms of people wanting to control the narrative when it comes to that young man.
Stephen A. Smith was clear that keeping Shedeur Sanders buried in the 3rd spot on the depth chart has nothing to do with football strategy. He argued the real reason is the Browns' attempt to silence the growing noise around Sanders. With more and more fans demanding to see him on the field, the organization looks desperate to control the story and stop any distractions from taking over the team. But as Stephen A. warned, that won't stop fans from asking the obvious question. Why isn't Shedeur Sanders being given the chance to prove himself on the field? The pressure is mounting and fans are refusing to back down. They want real answers, and as long as Shedeur Sanders stays stuck on the sidelines, the criticism will only grow louder. Stephen A. Smith made it clear that the heat on the Cleveland Browns is rising by the day. With the offense looking worse each week, Smith stressed that Shedeur Sanders can no longer be brushed aside. Given everything falling apart in Cleveland, he said, there's absolutely no excuse to keep ignoring a talent like Sanders any longer. Stephen A. Smith believes that with the rising expectations and the Browns' desperate need for a spark, the team will eventually be forced to give Shedeur Sanders his shot. The pressure from fans, the media, and the ugly performances on the field all lead to one simple conclusion. Sanders has earned the right to start. The situation is boiling over, and sooner or later, the Browns will be forced to face the truth. Shedeur Sanders deserves his opportunity, whether they like it or not.
Taking all of that into consideration, that's why we know we're going to see him, because we know that pressure is mounting. The more inept they are offensively, the less of an excuse you're going to have to submerge him. If you got Dylan Gabriel, you're going to throw him out.
The Browns can try to silence Shedeur Sanders, but the noise is only getting louder. His confidence and determination prove he's not backing down. Fans know he deserves his shot, and the pressure is building every day. Sooner or later, Cleveland will have no choice but to face the truth. Subscribe now, like the video, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next chapter in this saga.